Instruction sounds used through the game. Buttons are pressed. Keyboard stroke in a synthesized tone. Good. And there's the obligatory art section. Enjoy. These are the credits. Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary. Davey Whedon and William Pugh. Left. Maintenance room. An early version of the maintenance room. Now we've been there. That's the copy machine. Larger, larger, larger. Words, words, words. HD remix. Yep. Green light. In December 2012 was submitted Stanley Parable to green light. As process of approving games for Steam, the green light page is only a series of cryptic photos, which was still enough to win the community's approval. Yep. Warzone. Early in development, we designed the ending where Stanley would end up in a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game becomes sentient and wage war against the narrator. Now, shortly after starting to build that, as far joking up the nose at the turn of the game. Plus, some people interpret it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Narrator emails. After a second turn, we sent out as people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use those further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Section of these emails. Yes. Thoughtful. Oh, it's you, Ben. You did that. An early version of the lounge. Ah, so simple. Your button timer. Previous version choice leading to the button ending. Timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. The cargo lift. The second version is functionally the same as the first game. Nice. Yep. Seen that. Choice of staying to jump a different path. However, the early version we decided it wanted the option of player falling to death. I didn't try that. The Zending model. Setting was iterations represent full version of the ending. Though completely decided to abandon and change shortly after launch. Sending. Which was a big silly vision of the ending known as ending, eventually cut to merge another part of the game. Okay. Sending levers. No, that looks too mysterious to be something different from the end. The game is now paused. Escape menu. Wait. For a long time, I only ended the player restarted the escape menu. Unfortunately, a few pages later, what was that supposed to do? It was frustrating for everyone. Countdown disk. What's the early version of the countdown ending? Freedom ending, yeah, I think we got that. Monitor room elevator, yeah. Yeah. game design mock-up. William, the level designer, sent Davey the rights of the mission piece. William hired to design the full game. Then much the environment has changed, the basic layout of mock-up is still the same. Many offices. Stanley's office. November 11. March 12. Stunning. Truly jaw-dropping. No, that's where the game is. Yeah, boss's office. Yellow office clock. Employee lounge. Yeah, the underground. Cool dialogue into the game. Roughly 3 separate times over 2 years of development.
Stanley came to the lift. He travelled upward to the power source at the top of the facility to end this injustice forever. Stanley stood on the roof. Then he pushed the lever forward.
Now we need to find that place with the odd screen, which I do not remember where it was. That's the exit. We don't need that. We missed a thing. Quick, find it. There it is. Trailers animated as a course of the game's development. Each minute to convey something of the spirit of the game. First one released May 2012. To the broken rooms and the voice narrator to inform viewers that these pioneer vision of Stanley Parable. Oh yeah, I've seen that one. I want to show you a trailer of this game, like maybe after we finish. I'm gonna do a fairly long cast, which means we're probably going to finish this game.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time
I died it. For reals this time. So this is what death feels like. What happens if I quit the game?
This is the story. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
How did I know there's something here? I'm not going to leave.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Fuck all. It's my cast I can swear all the fuck I want.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Because a guy in chat told me there's a thing. Now I know. That's why I don't like being spoiled shit.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite."
See you fuck.
Friends find this concerning.
Did you get the broom closet ending? Was it fun?
Was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Aren't we all?
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
We're gonna get a thing. There's no narration.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
The more I think of it, there might not be a broom closet ending. It's an elaborate ploy to have people stay in a broom closet and tell their friends, have you got the broom closet ending? Am I being made fun of? Yep. That's what it is.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe.
We've seen this one.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
That's different.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the road. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
No?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
because the boss knows that the boss says goes, if the boss suffers losses, then the boss choose. Yep. I got it. Oh, baby. Input received. Need one more.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor, he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future? Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, it had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever hope to guess it. 2845. Statistically, nearly impossible to guess blindly, ever. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oh my. No brightness settings.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Do I? Because I think I haven't done everything in this part of the...
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death. As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Oh no.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start? Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long